Welcome back to Black Girl Couch Reviews. I'm your host, Christina. We are back finally for Krypton Season 2, Episode 1, Light Years from Home. This episode was directed by Mark Roskin and written by David S. Goyer and Cameron Welsh. Is Cameron Welsh the, no, it's Cameron Cuff. Never mind. It debuted June 12th of 2019 to, looks like 0.48 million viewers, so not strong, but I don't think it ever had too much. Let me see what last season was. It ended on 0.56, so it did, it kind of made a nosedive from last year, but it's the same kind of, definitely started in the 1 million area, and it's been going down since then. And after this episode, if Leda Zod, I'm just gonna put that out there right now, if Leda Zod dies, I'm done. I'm out. Deuces, bitches. I'm out. I'm not. I'm not sticking around for a Leda Zod-less show. I mean, I want to stay for Jaina, but I don't know. And they put that shit out there early. They put a lot of things out there early I feel like they shouldn't have. I gave this episode a 7.2 out of 10. It was alright. Just pretty much alright. Just it's a good setup episode to see where everyone's at after the events of what happened in the premiere. I know I didn't finish out last season because I was spoiled. So I did not end up recording a lot of the events that happened, but I mean, they did a nice, good recap at the beginning so that anyone who needed one. I mean, I guess my feelings on a lot of things that were happening was, it was unfortunate. I mean, I liked how Sekhmet the Sacrifice took Brainiac to the Phantom Zone, Adam Strange disappearing, Jaina being, kind of ousted from her position, but really finding herself again. And now her daughter is pretty much in where her position used to be. So there's a nice dichotomy there. But a lot of things, I mean, I really like Brainiac. I thought he was a great villain. I'm glad to see that he's still back as the primary villain. I think Zod is one of the villains, but I do think Brainiac is going to be the top dog, just because he's so fucking more smarter than everyone else. And it's just really sad that Seg thinks he kills him. But I am so late with this. I'm going to try to get to episode 2 sometime this week, but most likely, just to give you a heads up, it'll probably be a back-to-back episode for 2 and 3 sometime, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I am still trying to find my balance since Jamaica. One, there was a 1 hour time difference, which really fucked me up. And then when I came back, I think I landed my plane at I think I got home at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I had to go to work at like 6. So I've been running on very low sleep, and today I actually woke up at like 8:42, and then I said, no, I'm just gonna sleep until 12. Next thing I know, it's 6 p.m. So I'm definitely lacking sleep in my life. Hopefully I finally got all of the bugs out from the last week and I can get back on schedule, but it's gonna be pretty shaky up until the end of the month. Plus how work is going. Apparently I can't take a week off because that's not good. I work in a team, and apparently they say there's no I in team, but whoo Lord, that's a fucking lie. So I just got a lot of things going on, but I'm still doing everything, and I will try to catch up as much as I can in the next few weeks. But I'll get the July schedule out. That's probably going to be a better reflection on where I'm at right now, because we still have next month Stranger Things come out, and I think New Pearson. So those are 2 more shows to add. So I definitely want to at least get Good Omens done. And I got Swamp Thing. I just finished up the 2nd episode. I forgot the 3rd one even came out Friday. And I'm trying to get that all worked out. But we'll get there. At least I'll get there. Alright, so I did get some feedback for episode 1 from Lumia, my favorite boo-boo. And I will read that at the end of the episode so I don't stomp on any of her thoughts. So, I mean, there wasn't a lot that actually, for 47 minutes with commercials, there wasn't actually a lot that happened. Yeah, New Pearson comes out July 17th. It's been 6 months since the events of last season, so I'm glad that they gave it a time frame. We got Seg. I guess that's where we'll start with this Seg story. He has been in the Phantom Zone, and apparently, according to Brainiac, he's slowly been losing his mind this entire time, even though we really don't get a good indication of that. I mean, I like the way the Phantom Zone looked, where you see him walking around, and it's kind of, I mean, that's what I would imagine a Phantom Zone would be. But as far as what he was doing or how he was thinking, I don't think we got much of that shit. And the part that threw me off is he sees this scene play out in which Zod is strangling out Lita. Do I want to say Lita or Lyta? Is it Lyta? I think it's Lyta. And she's clearly, and Zeg's like, no, stop. I forgot how much I have a love-hate relationship with Cameron Cuff's acting. But he's totally like, stop it. And she dies in his arms, and it's all poetic. And I'm like, fuck. I will say this much. I've been suspecting since the trailers that something's going to happen to Lyta, because she wasn't in the trailers that much. So I don't know when this is supposed to take place. Hopefully before the end of the season. Because I really don't want to watch no bullshit. Or at least, I should say, I hope it happens at the end of the season, if it's gonna happen, that they have not addressed it in any type of way. Like, oh my god, we gotta stop Lyta from dying. It was like, Brainiac was like, that was the future. And Seg was like, oh, no reaction, no nothing, no, hey, we gotta get back to Krypton because I have to stop Zod from killing. It was just something to tell the audience. It's what it felt like to me, and I'm not okay with it. Just throwing that out there. I mean, her character and Jaina, that whole story is, you know, and Adam's crazy sense of humor are the three biggest things that really attracted me to this show. And without one, and then the one doesn't really work without the other, and then Adam's just Adam. Even though there were a few scenes where I was like, dude, you're too much. So he sees that, and then the next thing we know, Val comes up to him, and I knew it wasn't Val the minute he's like, I'm a projection of your mind. I was like, why would you be, if that's the case, then you'd be projecting a lot more people. I just was not buying it. I don't know, call me too TV savvy to fall for that shit, but Seg did. And he goes, well, you have the way to get us out of here by tearing through the veil. And I did like the way he said, he's like, yeah, just tear through the veil with this Kryptonian thing that he has, that it's like 10,000 billions of the sun or some shit I wasn't really picking up on, because science. And when he was tearing through it though, and he goes, that's it, Seg-El. He's like, I'm doing it, Grandpa. I was like, what the fuck is this, the afternoon Sesame Street Sesame Street special? What the hell? That just felt so weird. I'm doing it, Grandpa. You keep doing it, Seg-El. Come on, Seg-El. Oh, Lord. So then I guess this tear gets them out of the Phantom Zone, and he goes on to some planet. We don't know what planet it is yet. And he and Brainiac start talking, in which Brainiac's like, you need to, wait, I think he said they landed on Brainiac. No, wait. They landed on Brainiac's homeworld of Colu. That Brainiac reveals that he killed his entire planet, or all of his people, because they were fucking around, and they made him, because they needed someone to be smarter, and they kind of made him. However, in 1.3 seconds, he realized that he needed that he could, the easiest way to preserve himself is to spread himself through the planet or throughout the galaxy, but that needed them to kill all of his people. So they're on this wilderness world, and Seg's like, why are you telling me all of this? And he's like, because we need to work together. I can build us a ship so that we can get back to Krypton. That's something that you want to do more than anything. it seems that Brainiac has power over Seg, which Seg doesn't even think too much about. I mean, maybe because he's Brainiac. But, you know, because he tells him you need to preserve your strength. He doesn't say why he needs him. He said, well, I needed you to get us through the veil, but he doesn't really go into the details of why. And then I'm just going to throw this out there. They put it in the fucking trailer. You're a part of Brainiac. Brainiac's a part of you. Why would you put that out there in the trailer, dog? I mean, who's doing the marketing here at Sci-Fi? I mean, I already know they've been fucking up since they canceled The Expanse, but seriously, who put that in the fucking trailer? That was a really dumb thing. I mean, granted, I didn't think he killed. I was like, wow, that's a pretty underwhelming way to get rid of Brainiac, which kind of said that you didn't get rid of him. But I didn't think he would be a part of Seg. Thanks for giving that away. And that was not even brought out at the end of the episode. I don't know why they did that, but stupid. Anyhow, he tells him he needs him and you need me. We need to work together. And then Seg brings out, like, yeah, of course. And I'm sure as soon as I outlive my usefulness, you're going to try to kill me. And Brainiac's like, yeah, ditto. So Seg's like, well, since he's always up down for a fight, I don't see why we need to go through the pretense of this shit. Let's just get this worked out now. Which I was like, Seg, here's your brain. Dear, you still need a fucking ship and you have no idea how to buy it, how to build it. So why? Oh, I forgot how dumb he is sometimes. And that's pretty much where we got. I mean, Seg, okay, we meet up with him again after he has killed Brainiac, or apparently that's where we flash back to him and it shows Brainiac's head bashed in by a tree branch. And I'm like, yeah, it was that easy, Seg. It was totally that easy. But he is reunited with Adam, who had escaped his little thing and found him using one of his little devices. And he tells him that, you know, everything got, because he's like, well, did it work at least, my sacrifice? Did we save Krypton? He's like, yeah, but my planet, and destroyed Brainiac. He's like, but yeah, my planet is totally destroyed and your son did it, called Druzad, and Brainiac has also bottled my world, which means Brainiac is still alive and escapes. And which should have been a dead giveaway that Brainiac's not dead right there. Adam, he's like, you should take like this should be a trophy or something, you should sign it. I'm like, shut up, Adam. And he says that your world has been taken over by your son, and he's planning to fuck everybody over. Like, he's not a good guy. I told you. And he's like, well, yeah, maybe I should have listened to him and listened about him. He's like, yeah, nobody ever listens to me. But I'm like, dude, you kind of came in with lies and then you started more lies. And then, I mean, because let's be real, you're not here for Krypton. You ain't trying to save nobody. You ain't caring about the Kryptonian planet. You don't care about the planet being destroyed. You care about Superman and how Superman came to your planet and made it all great. And stop Brainiac. That's the only shit you give a fuck. So I seem like everyone in the show has their own motives, and I don't even know if I could be like, even Druzad. He ain't a great guy, but he's got his motives. He's like, shit, us versus them. I don't want my people to die. I don't want the future that I get. The future I get is being an outcast with me and now my brother, or however fuck this relationship. I can't with these relationships. I cannot. Now Corvex is in the picture, shit. And, you know, I don't want that future to play out where my whole entire world, everything I loved, is destroyed. Why would that not be a reason to continue to mine little planets? So, I mean, that turns you into, I mean, once you've been to the end, and he's from the future, right? So once you've been to the end, all you want to do now is prevent the end from ever happening. And so we'll get into his plans in just a moment. But at the same time, I'll be looking at Adam like you be like you're some altruistic type of motherfucker. You're really not. You're just trying to save your own place. And they kind of get into it a little bit about that, because at first he's like, Seg is in shock because he killed Brainiac, and I'm like, why? This is not your first murder, sir. And he's like, well, I'm happy to see you. And he's like, well, I can get us off of this planet. And he's like, well, this is how this started in the first place with your half-cocked plans. He's like, wait a minute, I'm fully cocked.
Am I wrong for thinking that we could be something for real?
I was laughing my ass off on that because he was like dead serious when he said it too. And pointing at Seg, and I was like, yeah, he is he's definitely fully cocked for you, Seg. We all know Adam got a hard on for Seg-El. He felt like he had a hard on for Superman. He had transferred all that lust and admiration over to Seg. And so that was a nice funny joke. But I love how Seg did call him out, like, you're the reason why we're in this fucked up situation, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're like the knockoff version of the real Strange that we really need in our life. And they end up getting caught by Lobo, which is a huge deal to some people. I'm not sure who Lobo is. He's an alien bounty hunter as far as I know, but I guess he's in the comics. I don't know too much about him, but that's who they come across, and captures both of them and probably plans on handing them the fuck over. So that's where we are with Seg-El. I guess this will be a good time to go right into Adam Strange. He just pops back out after 6 months. Doesn't think for 5 seconds to blend in with he's still wearing his Detroit, at least he's not the cap, but he got another jacket. He went back just to change and put on another red jacket. And he's like, oh, yeah, they noticed me. No shit, motherfucker, no shit. You like not even fitting in a little bit. He gets, because he pops out right when Zod's giving this message about how we need to stamp out the resistance for the most part, and how we're going into a new phase. And I told you guys 6 months ago, and he acknowledges, hey, I am the son of Seg-El from the future. He's like not even lying about anything to his own people. And I feel like anyone who's fallen or who's taken the sauce, well, anyone who's resisting anyway, they either disappear or they get I don't know, whatever you want to call this. But I was like, damn, that's fucked up. And so Adam runs from the Sagittari and is captured saved by, who was that? Damn, what's her name? I know her name. Jax. And then she immediately silences him because he'd be talking too much with a tranquilizer. Then he wakes up and he's like, I hate this planet, because he immediately hits his head. And he starts telling her, like, thanks for saving me, but how did you do that? Did you put me over your shoulder? I don't know why he was really into this, like. But Val and Nisa show up, and she's got her son with her. And I was like, oh, I forgot about Corvex. Didn't they say he was going to be just like normal? Like he's going to grow up to be 119 years old. He's going to be a pretty... is this really Superman? I think this is Superman's grandfather. I think all of our thoughts and desires for Superman to be half black, that's unfortunately probably, because I don't know how this is going down, but we ain't killing kids. And now that Corvex is in the universe, I do not want his kid killed, so I don't know how this all works out. I don't know when Zod's supposedly born, because if he's from the future, he has to be, made, right? And Lyta ain't had no babies. That's why I'm like, man, she's gotta like live, right? Or Zod never born. And I don't know, this is really fucked up with this timey-wimey shit in this show. But it's interesting. I will say that much. At least it's interesting. Trying to figure out how this shit goes down. And he's like, what's going on? And they're letting him know, like, hey, we've been part of the resistance. First, he doesn't believe that Val is real. And he's like, yeah, I've been freed from the Phantom Zone. And I love how he was touching. He's like, you're so real. It's like your face. I mean, he was doing way too much touching on him. And Val was doing way too much just letting him. Like, it's old wrinkly man, and that explains the smell. I thought his humor was a little overly done, but I get it. That's his character. But I was like, boy, last time you saw him, he had like a glow to him, and now he looks like full up real. He's not a projection, clearly. And he says that, hey, we're off to the planet of Wegthor. And that's where it's a moon that's been annexed, I guess. and it's where the resistance is primarily at, and that Druzad is trying to get the mining fuel from the planet so that he can start his fleet. And that's when Adam's like, oh, it might be too late if he already has his fleet, because he explains to him the same thing, what happened to his planet. And that's when Nyssa and Val say, or that's when Nyssa introduced him, like, who the fuck is that? Oh, this is Seg's son, Corvex. And he's like, oh, okay. So, damn, Seg got all these kids running around. Papa was a Rolling Stone, and she says that they're trying to meet up. That's where we get to her story, that they're going to meet up with the Resistance. And I guess that's where because after she goes to her meeting, which we turn out as a trap, that's when Adam escapes and makes his way to where Seg is, because he tells Val that, hey, where you guys are you want the Resistance, you think that's going to be your number one way of getting rid of Druzad. I think that Seg is our best chance. And Val says, well, I miss my grandson, but he dead. And if he ain't dead, I have no way of finding him, because what I need to do that, Druzad has taken over that place. And so they can't do some wavy thing to contact him or whatever, save him. And that's when the Sagittari show up and he makes his escape. So that's pretty much where we are with Adam, and we meet up with Seg-El. So other places in the universe is Nyssa. Nyssa has her baby. She seems to be a good mother. I don't have no beef with Nyssa. I love her character. I just really hope they're not going to try to kill Lyta off to make her and Seg a thing. Even though she don't seem to be like mourning Seg as much as Lyta does. She's like, I'm a mother and I'm a clone and I got a lot of baggage and shit that I'm trying to find out. She wants to go speak with her. She's been waiting for this sign or signal to get to her daddy, or who she knows to be her daddy, to get some more information on who she was after she gets that vision and her realization that she's a clone and that something went down and she doesn't know who she really is. And so Nyssa goes to confront him, and he is in like this mine, doing the nastiest shit I ever seen in my life. It was so gross. I didn't even recognize him. Is that the same actor? I don't think it is. And she goes to the mine, and I forgot, Jax tells her that, hey, this could be a trap. I'm pretty sure it's a trap. She's like, well, the other times it could have been a trap too, and if it is, we'll figure it out. And if it's not, then I need to know. So this is worth the risk for her. And she takes her son with her. Oh, no, wait, she didn't take her son. She left her son with the one chick who ended up betraying them. But she goes to confront the daddy and says that, I want to know the truth. I want to know who I am. And then he keeps starting sentence with, I knew this day would come. Oh, I wanted to tell you so many times. Everything to pretty much not tell you the answer. And I was like, okay, this is just bullshit. But I did like her acting in the scene. She did feel like she was someone who desperately needed this information, and that she now feels a little unwhole because she has no idea what and who she is. And just as he looks like he's about to say something, Lyta comes in and straight up murks him in the head. I thought Nyssa was gonna be bad about this. She's like, shit. And Lyta captures her, and they have this little conversation in which Lyta is like, your baby is safe. Cause she's like, where's my son? She's like, he's safe, we promise. Everything is we with her. Everything is we. She's like, we are trying to stop the resistance. We're trying to keep Seg-El's legacy going forward and I get it though. That's the thing. I get where Lyta's coming from, and it's not just a defense of her character, because I love her character, because she do some shit that's wrong though. But she is kind of blindly following, like she's mourning right now. Like she's lost Seg, and the only thing that's closest to her is her son, who she automatically wants to be by and protect and support after her really shitty relationship with her mother. So she has her own motivations. I'm not saying they're right, but I get where she's coming from. And I think Nyssa does as well, which is why she's like, look, that's what's name, Doran. He's like, your son is just like my daddy. Like, they're the same thing. They want power and they're willing to sacrifice us, their family, to get it. And that's when we found out that, you know, that Doran had bonded himself to her mother and to get himself out of his shithole life for power. And that something happened to her mother when she died, and she was there with her mother when she died. And he says, you're like the best parts of her. And I'm like, who the fuck is her? And so she's really trying to get light on, like, come on, you got to stop falling for the tea of your son just because he's your son and he's part Seg El. Yeah, that's her defense. Like, because he's part Seg El must mean he's got good in him. Like, I can't believe he's completely evil if he's his father's son. And so she goes to meet with Druzad and lets him know, hey, I did not get Val and Jax, but I did get Nyssa. And he's like holding Corvex, and I love that he like even didn't have no intention of killing this kid. He's like, look, we don't fucking kill kids. Like, he could have said, I'm never gonna he's like, no, I'm gonna raise your son unless you convince my grandfather to stop fucking doing this resistance, because he is my fucking grandfather and I want us to all be on the same side, and we should be on the same side, so I need you to go there and convince him to switch sides, which seems like a really weak ass plan for Druzad. My thing, I thought he was like gonna follow them or something, and he may still do that, but he's like, then she says, well, what if I resist? And he says, well, I'm gonna raise your son as my own. And so she's yanked out of the room with a continuous give me back my son. And I was like, girl, shut up, he's fine. Like, I mean, I get it, you're worried, but like, no one's gonna kill your kid. you're good. Lyta wouldn't. I think she knows Lyta wouldn't let that shit happen anyway. Because like I said, they know each other, they've been allies, and that's where we start off with Lyta. I guess we can go to Lyta and Druzad right now, because Druzad is trying to build a fleet to conquer other worlds so that he can make them all Kryptonian, and he eradicates the race. He doesn't even rule them, he eradicates them. And that's a problem, of course, for the human race and any other race that pretty much doesn't need to be conquered and then killed by a whole other person. Of course, Lyta doesn't know anything about this. She just knows that he's trying to make Krypton. And he has freed the rankless. He's like, we need to be united. We don't need to have this in-house squabbling. So he's kind of done the thing that the predecessors didn't do. So it automatically makes him look like a good guy. But they don't really know what the full scale of what his future plans are. At least Lyta does not know. And she, whatever they need to get this, they're trying to get Doomsday. That's what they're trying to do. And they were interrogating, with some torture, certain members of that occult that were guarding Doomsday. One of them is left. What was her name? Kaya? Damn it, forgot. Reika. I knew I was gonna get it somewhere. Reika, because I feel like she's gonna come back. I don't know why, but it just felt like there was more to that character. But she says, like, I don't know anything, and they say that they believe her. At least she says she believes her. She's like, okay, well, what about my mother? And she's like, I don't know anything about that shit either, even though she's supposedly dead. And the one guy says, yeah, she's actually telling the truth. And he says, well, what's our recommendation here? He's like, well, we need to basically mind wipe her. And that it's going to be painful. She lets her know that, hey, this is going to be painful, but you're not even going to remember it. At the end, you're going to be a new person. And, if this is one way you get people, I know it sounds really terrible. I mean, it is. But it sounds better than killing them. I mean, I'm not saying it's right. I'm really not. But it seems to be this, going back to Druzad's opinion, he's trying to preserve as much as his actual species as possible, even if that means brainwashing them to follow along in what he's saying. Which is fucked up, but it's, like I said, it's really weird how he does draw this line. And I think that's what keeps Lyta into it, is if she was just to watch him completely murk people, even though it's clear that they've taken out some people, probably thinking of those factions before, or they mysteriously disappear is what a lot of people say, you know. So I don't know how involved Lyta is in all of this, but you can see that she's not completely okay with it in her soul. Like, she's going along with it, but she definitely has moments where you can see that all she needs is the right person to come up and talk to her, and she'll be back on the resistance side in like no time. But it's really unfortunate that she's in this situation. And he says, you know, he tells Nyssa that, I like that line, he says, there's no bond closer than mother and their child. And of course, that's when Lyta joins his side instead of Nyssa's. So I thought that was a little nice touch on there, to see what really is keeping her at his side is literally this bond. And that is when, after she tortures them, that's when she says, well, you're looking for doomsday. I think that's a waste of our resources instead of quashing this resistance. And she wants to handle the resistance people and wants him to handle finding doomsday, because she knows better than anyone about how they operate, and he allows her to do this. He wants doomsday because he's telling her anyway, that if we go to a planet where they may not fall in line, instead of risking any type of Kryptonian life, we'll just send this motherfucker to straighten him out. Like, don't resist or you're gonna get completely wiped out. She doesn't know about the part that he's gonna make the planets completely Kryptonian, which is going to kill all the people on the planet anyway. But like I said, she is a little bit culpable in the fact that she knows that he's going not to be kind to really any other species. But at the same time, like I said, I think there's a lot when you think of Krypton, like, because even Seg-El was like that. He was very Krypton first. The only thing that was keeping him not Krypton first was Adam trying to convince him about Superman. But I feel like that this is their core value. Most Kryptonians anyway. And that's kind of how we leave them. I'm pretty sure there's nothing much else on that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where we leave the episode, because then Val and Jax, they are trying to catch this elevator up to the planet of Wegthor, so that they can start taking some initiative and some actions against Druzad. And that's pretty much how we left our episode, with, of course, with Adam and Seg getting completely captured by Lobo. That's where the series pretty much is at this point with all of our characters. I'm pretty sure I'm not missing. Oh, yeah, no, the Resistance came in and killed that one lady. She's like, it's not I was like, they straight shot her in the head. I was like, damn. I do like the new little capes on the Resistance. I think that looks kind of cool. I miss Georgina Campbell's long hair. Seg has a beard now. She's like, I like the beard. He's like, I like your new red coat. They're cute together. What else? I think that's about it. I don't have a lot of predictions on what's gonna happen, other than fucking they better not kill. How many episodes is this season? Let me check. What is it, 12? No, is it really? Well, shit, they could do anything they want if they get 12. No, it says the second season renewed for 10 episodes. Okay, 10. So 2 has been out. I will try to get to like I said, I will try to get to the second one as quickly as I can. Hopefully, if I'm not dead tired by tomorrow, I can try to get into that. But yeah, I think for 10 episodes, this is a decent series. I don't hate it. I just really gonna be sad if Lyta died. Like, I wish they didn't start that shit out, because now I'm just feeling all types of a certain way. And I don't want to feel that certain way. So let's see what Lamia has to say. I miss reading this feedback from her, girl. I try to get Cheyenne on this show. I'm not sure if she's going to join. But we'll see. So Lamia says, hey Stina, miss me? Yes, I did. I missed you so much, BFF. I did. I really did. How the fuck did Nisa have Seg's baby? Did they ever even have sex? I really don't remember it happening because he was so in love with Lyta. I'm so confused. They did not have sex. Corvex was already made when they made when they pretty much get engaged. When they get binded, which they did get binded, their DNA goes into that thing. Remember they were going into that room with all the babies? They just get made with their DNA. That's what they did. They pretty much made a baby out of their DNA. And that baby was already made by the time, all of this went down. And I'm pretty sure, I don't remember her getting her baby either, but I'm guessing she just saved her baby. Like, shit was going down and she was like, okay, well, my seed is right there and completely just, a baby. So I'm going to save my baby. Speaking of Lyta, she really has entered the dark side. She really out here being her son's lackey. I'm so disappointed in her. During the entire episode, I was hoping for her to explain herself, but it never happened. She cannot believe that Seg is okay with what their world has become. It's god awful. Brainwashing folks, kidnapping and killing people that some agree with your point of view. Seriously, it's a mess. I do agree with I'm wondering, like, she has become his full lackey. But like she said to Nisa, I think part of her is excusing herself is because she thinks that this is all for some greater good, that sometimes you have to do bad things for a greater good. And because Seg is part of Druzad, she has to believe that that part of him is somehow keeping him good. I mean, it's a really warped idea. I'm not saying it's right, but that's her excusing at this point. She's not completely okay with it. But I do think she, right now, her world is Seg, and that's the last thing she has a part of Seg in this world. So she's clinging to that in her, and I think in her grief. Poor Seg gonna be so confused and overwhelmed when he finally gets back, and honestly, I'm here for it. I love Lyta and Seg's relationship before General Zod showed up, but now I'm seriously rooting for Nisa, even though she's a damn clone, right? Because the way Lyta just blow off Nisa's dead head, I don't know, how can you come back from that? I didn't think that was too much of a bad thing. I mean, I think it's clear Doran had his own, like, for whatever Zod was doing, Doran wasn't a good guy either. He was killing Rankless, and he was destroying people's, I mean, that was where their first fight even began, is with the Rankless motherfuckers, right? So, and that resistance. So it's more like you have a resistance that was starting against Doran, and now Druzad just literally took his place for one dictator for another dictator, but neither one were really great. And then after all the lies that Nisa's dad told her, Nisa didn't even seem upset that her daddy was gone. She's like, yeah. And didn't that motherfucker order the execution of Seg's parents? Right? Or was involved in that? I don't know. I don't know. That's me. I didn't really, I was like, yeah, he got what he got coming to him for a while ago. Because I feel like he was in hiding. Anyway, she's truly a mess. I saw her mother in the preview for the next episode. I don't know if it can help, but maybe she can get her daughter to see reason, since Seg is clearly going to be gone for a while. Yeah, I think that she is going to get her daughter to see reason, and that it's not, like I said, I feel like they've just swapped positions, because her mother was the one that was kind of doing the dirty work before, and she was like, well, I really don't want to go against rankless folks, and that's how her and Seg, because she was in love with Seg, and now she's the one that's just working for because once you're in the Sagittarius, you're kind of like the soldier. You're either a soldier or you're not a soldier, and I think for her, now she's the one that's just blindly following what her order should be versus questioning what she's doing. So yeah, I think her mother would be the best person to get through to her, but I don't think, I feel like Seg would probably be disappointed in some of her actions, but he probably is going to understand, because he was the same way. He was rooting for Druzad too, last season, until it was too late, until he realized that, hey, he may not be the best guy. But he was totally against Strange as well. So they had both decided to be there for their kids. So I don't know. I don't think it'll be as weird. I don't think she's too far gone. Everyone's done some shit that no one's proud of. And I've always been rooting for Nyssa in a way, because she never seemed like she was completely on board with being evil. I don't think for them, though, it's that straight line either of evil versus good. I mean, come on, they could just pop out babies anytime they want without having even, like, they don't have sex. That's not their thing. That's not their way. Lyta and Seg having sex was very, human behavior, but most of Krypton, that's not how they reproduce whatsoever. So, I think we're just dealing with a different moralistic world. At least that's how I see it. Okay, so you know how I am about time travel. Terrible at understanding it. But how is Zod still in existence but Lyta isn't pregnant? If her and Seg last had sex last season and it's been 6 months, she should be pregnant in order for him to still be alive. I feel like either General Zod is going to be blinked out of existence, or Seg and Lyta had an affair after Seg met Superman's grandma and that's how their baby came to be. I seriously need these answers because I'm giving myself a headache thinking about it so hard. With a lot of laughing emojis. I agree. I don't know. I can't figure with this other kid in the picture now. I don't know. Even if he's blinked out of existence, he still exists right now, which means he still has to be made. Which means, that's why I'm like, she can't die. If she dies at the end, how does she, or if she dies, that's how he's blinked out of existence. But then that would be just fucked up. Then we just gonna have Nyssa and Seg next season, and I'm not here for that train. So if they can just keep it to the end, if that's how we were gonna defeat fucking Zod, that's fine. Just keep it at the end of the season so that I can at least get some more Lyta Zeg loving before this shit has to go down. Because I did see them kiss in the preview, and that's the only thing keeping me happy. But something tells me something goes down fairly after that, and she's gonna die. And if that happens mid-season, don't expect it. I'm just telling you guys. I'm being very upfront about this. I don't like how I'm not seeing our core people that I really signed up the fuck for the show for in any of the previews. I see a lot of Adam. I see a lot of Strange, or Adam is Strange. A lot of Seg. See some Val, and I see Lobo, but I don't see a lot of Jaina, and I don't see a lot of Lyta, and I don't need this shit. Like, I just don't need it. That would really make me feel some kind of way too. Well, Brainiac didn't last. I don't believe it. Again, I wish I had not seen that on the, because I thought it was gonna be a like trailer for next week. It was a season-long trailer, and the first thing they said was Brainiac is a part of you, and I was like, why the fuck? Why the fuck would you do that? So yeah, I'm sorry if I ruined that for you. My bad. That's the second episode, so they might have revealed it already. Seg really flexed on his ass. We didn't even see it though. I am so dead. Seg didn't have a scratch. He clearly whooped his ass. I don't think Seg did shit. Brainiac just laying on the ground with his head split in two and Seg looking crazy as fuck. I guess Brainiac isn't as smart as he thought he was because his theory of them needing each other didn't work and now he dead. That shit is so funny to me and I don't know why. Because it would be funny if he really was dead. I was like, I was thinking the same thing. Like, what the fuck? At the moment I was thinking that. I was like, damn, that was really easy. If that's the case, they could have just, or maybe they were thinking to go a different way last season and they just changed it up and then had him kill him that quick. But it felt not authentic. I never read the comics. Is Lobo a friend or a foe? I think he's an anti-hero. I can't get a read on him, but he doesn't kill them immediately, so I'm guessing he's not evil. He's a bounty hunter. I know that much. So he wouldn't kill what's gonna get him paid. Or at least not in the normal sense. This is pretty good. This was a pretty good opener, but I feel like I don't remember anything that happened last season. Agreed. I think I might need to rewatch at least the last 4 episodes. Please, girl, tell me what you tell me you watched All American. No, I did not watch All American. I did not. Look, I said the same thing to Cheyenne. I am not a huge drama person. I'm not. Like, usually I like sci-fi, thriller, mystery, action, but when it comes to good old-fashioned just drama, that genre anyway, I'm not into it. I'm really not. And I know there's some fine ass dudes on there, but I'm like, I could just look at some posters for that. Not only is that show full of fine ass men, Spencer's mom is the epitome of a strong black mother. Their portrayal of her was everything. She raised her kids so well. I don't want to spoil anything, so let me know if you watch it because I need to talk to someone about it. I have not, and I'm so behind, I don't even think I'm going to track it out anytime soon, but I will keep it on my list to at least watch the first episode for you. I promise you that. I just need to catch up on a whole shitload of other stuff like Swamp Thing and Good Omens, and what the fuck else am I supposed to be doing? I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm that lost. And then next month, and oh, my brain. And then on my block. I have to do it on my block. I'm gonna have to bust that out next episode, or at least next month. So I'm gonna put it on the list. I'm gonna put it on the list. Don't hate me. I'm so sorry because I really want to catch up with everything, but right now my brain is just fried. Like right today, I kid you not, I think I said it earlier, I woke up at like fucking 6 o'clock and I called my daughter immediately. And you know how I woke up is someone was banging on my door, and it was my cousins, because my mom will call me, and then if she's coming over, she's coming over. She don't give a fuck if I answer the phone or not. And then she will send, not my cousins, my nephews, running down the hallway, the little 10-year-old and the 5-year-old knocking on my door, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I go to answer it, and I'm like, what the fuck? So, look, my body is never going to be cold for long, because my mom's having people show the fuck up. Like, if I don't answer the door, she going to call the police. I will not be missing for long. This is all I'm saying. So that has been my recap and review of Krypton Season 2, Episode 1. I will be back for as long as Lyta is around. I know I've said that 14 times, but I just want to make it clear in case anyone be like, well, what if I happen? Look, I warned you. So at least I won't say that, just randomly show, look, why didn't she record that? Like, I won't even watch the episode she died, because that fucking Cameron Cuff can't act that well. So he ain't even gonna emote the notions that I need him to emote, like pain. Because even when he was like beaten down, I was like, boy, can you please, like, just a little bit on just a little bit of grief there. Panic, because it was a little lacking for my taste. You can find this if you want to send feedback, you can send that to blackgirlcouch@gmail.com. You can find this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify at Black Girl Couch Reviews. I will be doing Swamp Thing next, because I'm behind on that, and then I really need to finish Good Omens before next month, because I do not want that clashing with my next week, because I don't want to clash in with Stranger Things. So until then, guys, peace.